I gotta say, that's pretty freaking sick. That's pretty freaking sick. No, that's cool. This is gonna be fun to play around with. Hey folks, in this video I'll be doing an unboxing and first impressions of the Nikon ZR. Let's take a look. All right. Get started. Opening this up. Let's see. Right here we have the Nikon Cloud Connect stuff. We have a charging cable or data transfer cable. Sweet. You know, some activation stuff and a user guide who's gonna take a look at that. All right. And here we go. So this part actually contains the camera. Looks like the battery is right here. So I'll set that off to the side. And the main attraction right here, the Nikon ZR itself. Let me set that to the side and just verify if anything else is in here. Yep. Looks like we have a carry strap for the camera. Nice. Looks like that's it from over there. And can't take anything else, so that's about it. So I'll go ahead and move that out of the way. Sweet. Already I can see that this is a bit bigger than I thought it was gonna be just from, you know, the shape of it, but let's go ahead and take it out of the bubble wrap. That extra fluff on it. All right. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah. A bit bigger than I thought it was going to be for sure. Okay. All right, so interesting. Let's just inspect it a little bit. All right, we have the hot shoe mount that's currently being covered up. That does integrate like with the digital. This is a digital hot shoe, so that's pretty cool. So you can attach things coming pretty soon. The Tascam XLR audio module, so that should be interesting. Cool. I like how we have 3 function buttons at the top. Hopefully those are customizable. It's a little weird how they have it going backwards, 3, 2, 1 instead of 1, 2, 3. But nonetheless, pretty simplistic in terms of menus, right? But I kind of like that, right? A lot of cameras have just a bunch of stuff that they expect or anticipate you using, but a lot of times these are like hybrid cameras or form factors, so yeah, I guess it makes sense why they have that other stuff if you're doing photography and stuff. But this is a purely video camera. I gotta say it's a little weird not having a grip right there, but I did see that there's a small rig cage available that I've ordered, so that'll come in about a week or so, so it should be interesting. It'll add a grip and it's pretty low profile. Over here we have some rubber flaps to access things like the 3.5 millimeter mic jack as well as a headphone jack, so that's cool. And let's see, we also have a mini HDMI port or micro HDMI port and a USB-C charging port, as well as you know, you can transfer stuff to an SSD, I imagine. All right, so cool. I don't necessarily, I'm not a fan of rubber flaps. I'd have preferred if they had like some plastic door flaps similar to the FX3, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, or however the saying goes. But is what it is. So, I mean, this feels pretty good in terms of button functionality. I mean, these are the only buttons that I really press to begin with when it comes to navigating the menu system of a camera, so should be interesting. At the bottom here, we do only have one mounting point. It would be nice if they had 2 here, but okay. And here's the battery door slot. Pop that open. I can see this is where the battery would go. I'm actually going to go ahead and insert that now. Hopefully it doesn't need to be charged. And this is where you would put in your storage card as well as potentially a micro SD card slot. So you do have a knob down here on the bottom that can be used to map to something, I imagine, and a record button as well as a quick release for the lens. Okay. All right, looks good. Let me go ahead and power this on. Twistable display. You can turn the screen all the way around. So that's gonna be nice when it comes to self-filming, being able to turn the screen all the way your way. I know that's common for mirrorless form factors, but you know, coming from my Blackmagic Pocket, that's been a stubborn challenge. And I know you can easily just get a monitor that'll show you your image if it's terms of front facing, but I like to adjust the controls if I need to make an adjustment or playback some video. And I don't want to have to do that by walking around the camera or trying to finger the camera from the back. So it's nice to be able to interact with the display while it's facing you. All right, so I had to stop and pause to charge the ZR for just a second there because the battery was completely depleted. But now that it has some charge, I should be able to power it on and take a look at the UI. Okay, sweet. Let me throw a lens on this to see what it looks like when I actually have some video getting ready to be outputted. What's nice about this is it is a full articulating screen. So I can turn the screen around and you can see yourself. And this isn't anything new when it comes to mirrorless cameras, but it is new coming from a person that was primarily using a Pocket, that primarily uses a Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, which had a fixed screen on the back initially. So I'm gonna undo this lens mount ring. Oh, it turns the opposite way. That's a new adjustment, but I'll go ahead and line this up. So perhaps right here, right, and it is fixed in place. So currently I have the Viltrox 24 1.8 millimeter lens on there, and that's what it looks like from the side profile. Actually not that big. Lens does weigh a lot more than the camera does, but that's what the screen real estate looks like. That's still fairly decent in terms of screen size. I think that's pretty nice. Whew, that's pretty cool. So I'll flip that around so that the front perspective can get a look at what that screen real estate looks like. But ultimately, pretty dope, right? Pretty dope. It's cool. That's something to play around with for sure. Yeah. This is gonna be nice. I'll have to see what the screen looks like from far away. Up close, it looks really nice, but who knows? If I put it far away, I might not be able to see things as good. So we'll see. But let me go ahead and if I go ahead and hit the menu button on the side here. Oh, not doing anything. So I'll hit the menu button. Okay, that takes me to what they call the Big 12. I can tap menu to go into the deeper menu. That does look nice. I gotta say that definitely looks a lot. Now it's still the same complicated menu system that you would typically find on a mirrorless camera or something. But with it being this big, it feels like it's gonna be a lot easier to navigate the different settings. Because before it just looked so compressed when I was looking at the screen on things like the Sony and the Lumix S5 Mark II. I gotta say, that's pretty freaking sick. That's pretty freaking sick. No, that's cool. This is gonna be fun to play around with. Jeez. Only time will tell. But folks, that is a first impressions and look at the Nikon ZR. So far, looks pretty interesting, you know. I mean, I bought it because it was interesting, right? And the capabilities of it. I'll throw them on the screen. I won't necessarily repeat them because there's so many videos that cover the specs of this camera. But as a first impressions, it's nice to finally get my hands on it, and I look forward to seeing how this works, if this ends up becoming a permanent part of this video setup. Only time will tell. Until then, folks, I'll see you in the next one. I hope you found this video helpful. If you are at all curious about checking this out and looking to find this, I will have affiliate links in the description. So, you know, feel free to check it out. But other than that, folks, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.